Hey guys, welcome back to another Roblox tutorial. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a firework. So the first thing we're going to do is insert a part. It could be anything, and then you're going to want to anchor it. Right here is an anchor button, you can use that. And then you're going to right click on it, and the first thing we're going to do is insert a click detector. So whenever we click it, it can activate our script, and that's going to be the function we're going to use as a click detector. So you can set the activation range right here. So that's going to be how far you can click it. And then the next thing we're going to do is insert a script. And then we're also going to need a particle effect, and sounds are optional, but I already have sounds and particle effects here. So we'll go ahead and insert that. And I'll just give you a brief overview of how the particle kind of looks. So I have a color sequence right here. It starts off as a white and then fades off to kind of a bluish, and then it goes off to a slightly lighter blue. And then we have a little bit of a light emission. The size kind of gets a little bit smaller and fades off. And then we have the rate is kind of high because it's only enabled for a very short time. The lifetime isn't that long either. Velocity spread is 1,000 so that it'll go away from the part in every direction. So now that we have our particle effects here and we have our trail, the trail is basically the thing that's going to go behind the firework whenever it goes into the air. So let's get into scripting. So the first thing we're going to do is type in math.randomseed, and then we're going to put tick, and that's just going to give us a random seed. So every time we play the studio, it'll go ahead and give us a random result each time we run it, instead of giving us very similar results each time we use it. So the next thing we're going to do is type in script.Parent.ClickDetector.MouseClick :connect function, and then I'm going to type in click. And then this is basically saying, well, hey, we have a click detector here, and then whenever the part is clicked, it's going to play the script. So the next thing we're going to do is have our little trail bit of our script. So we're going to type in script.Parent.Trail. That's our trail particle right here. And then we're going to have .enabled equals true. And this is going to enable our trail effect whenever it starts to go into the air. So the next thing is script.Parent.Trail.Sound :play. That's our trail sound right here. Then we're going to have the actual movement that shoots it into the sky. I use CFrame just so that I can get an exact result of how high up I want it to do. But you could use many different things. You could use like a body force, or you could use position if you wanted to, but CFrame is a little bit better than that. So we're going to have a for loop. So for I equals 1, 35, do. That's going to make this run 35 times, and it's just going to increment it by 2 each time, so we'll have about 70, it'll go up about 70 studs. So wait, script.Parent.CFrame equals CFrame.new script.Parent.Position. That's getting the position of where the part is, and then we'll say plus vector 3.new 0 to 0. So whatever the position of the part is, it's going to increase it by 2 each time the for loop runs, and this is going to run 35 times. So after we'll have script.Parent.ExplosionSound, which is our sound for whenever the rocket explodes. When it gets to the very top of it, it'll play the sound. So : play. And then we'll have script.Parent.Trail.Enabled equals false. That's turning off the trail particle we have here that we enabled up here. So it's just turning that off so that it doesn't play anymore. And then script.Parent.Transparency equals 1. And that's going to hide our rocket here, our part. And then we'll have local r equals math.random 1 comma, since we only have 2 bursts here, we'll only put 1 comma 2, and that'll give us a random between 1 and 2. It's not going to be very random because there's only 2, but it'll still randomize it. So local burst, we'll go with the capital, burst equals parentheses comma burst dot parentheses r. And this is going to say, well, our burst effect, the one that it is selected, is going to say burst, and then it's going to add whatever this random number is. So let's just say that it selects 1 right here, the random selects 1. Well, then it'll say burst 1, and that's what our burst is going to be. So down here we'll have script.Parent, and then we'll have these brackety thingies, burst.Enabled equals true. And that's going to say, well, if it selected 1, then it's going to say burst 1, and then right here it's going to say script.Parent.burst1 is enabled. Or if it says 2, it'll be burst 2. And you could just, let's say that you have like 5 burst effects inside of your rocket. Well, then you'll just set this number to like 5. But we only have 2, so we're going to use 2. And then we'll, right here after we enabled our particle effect, we'll say wait, and then we'll have 0.3, so it'll wait 0.3 of a second, and then script.Parent bracket burst.enabled equals false. Right now, if we go and fire it, it'll work, but it won't reset itself down here to the bottom like this one will. It'll go up and then it'll come back down and reset itself. So I'll show you how to do that. So what we're going to do is wait 2 seconds. So it's going to wait for, just to make sure that the particle and the firework is completely done with. It'll wait 2 seconds, and then we'll have another for loop. It's basically going to be this little section right here, except instead of plus, it's going to be minus. So you can go ahead and copy that and paste it right down here, and then instead of the plus right here, just put a minus. And then we'll have right here script.Parent.Transparency equals 0. And then if we go ahead and hit play, it will go up and it will explode, and then it will come right back down. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please leave a like.